So Ajay is from TapChief, and TapChief is the Upwork from India. So how's it going?
Going really well, man. We've been around for the last 3 years, and the last 1 year has been really great. We are kind of changing the way the Indian kind of companies are looking at the workforce. They are getting more and more comfortable working with a virtual remote workforce, and that's essentially the change we're trying to bring upon within the workforce in the country.
Okay. So to give you some context, by Upwork I mean it's a freelance platform. Any task that anybody wants, they can upload it into a platform like this and connect with potential freelancers. So right now I want to talk to you about how a freelancer can use your platform and how any tips or advantage that you can provide through inside view.
Any freelancer in India has got a lot of kind of problems that they can't address. To begin with, things to do with contracts, invoicing, and project management end-to-end. A lot of disputes happen every now and then. So this is where TapChief comes to the picture. We are a DIY one-stop shop for any kind of requirements you have in terms of invoicing, contracts, negotiations, dispute handling, and we do that completely free. There is no fee that we charge to the freelancers. You're happy to come on board, sign up with your profile, and anytime any of the enterprises or startups or any companies in India looking for highly qualified experts that they want to engage with remotely, we'll be reaching out to you, and most probably we'll be able to get you a job quite soon.
So what kind of people are on your platform in terms of the companies? Are they global or are they from here?
Right, so it's a mixed bag. We've got multinational companies. I'm not allowed to take a lot of names, but Unilever being one of them. Then you're working with some really dynamic startups like Dunzo. So it's a varied mix of kind of companies we're working with in terms of geography as well as the kind of work they're doing.
That's really interesting because I wouldn't imagine that enterprises like these would actually be working with freelancers. Is that a common trend, you think?
And I'll give you a really interesting insight. So Google is one of the biggest tech force in the world right now. 42% of the Google employees. Yeah. So 42% of the Google employees are working remotely, and this is something that gave me goosebumps. So enterprises have kind of adopted remote workers, but this is something that's not too prevalent in the Indian market, and this is the change we're trying to bring upon.
Remote working is so interesting, and there's a lot of especially in the US and all, a lot of companies are going completely remote. What are you seeing in India? Do you think there's going to be more adoption of this philosophy?
I think absolutely that's the future of work. So as more and more startups spring up, their biggest cost center these days is where to seed these employees. So they need to go with these fancy WeWorks and shell out a lot of money just to make them sit somewhere. What companies are finding out is if they are giving the employee or the freelancer the kind of freedom to work from anywhere and also enabling them to set up their home office, the productivity shoots up. The kind of money they're spending in terms of engaging these professionals is much lower, and end to end the outcome, the bottom line of the company is shooting up. Absolutely.
Awesome. Tell me, what do you do specifically at
so
TapChief?
I take care of growth and business development at TapChief. I've recently come on board. So currently we are figuring out how to scale TapChief to different geographies. We have a lot of inbound interest from US and Singapore. They want to work with Indian freelancers because of course we are smart and we also come at a really good price point. So right now I'm just championing this idea and being an evangelist for remote workforce in general.
That is fantastic. Now you work on growth, right? Can you tell me an example for someone who doesn't know what that means?
Right.
AKA me maybe. My friend, sorry. Yeah. So can you give me an example of something that you do as a growth task?
Right. So for example, I won't name any clients, but this particular client in EdTech that's working with us, right? So he currently had around 30 employees working for him, and they were curating courses for certifications and online training. So every month he was getting around 100 requests from various clients, but he was only able to cater to 30 of them because he did not really have the content ready and did not really have the capital to be able to grow his or scale his company at that space. Now they reached out to TapChief. We were able to deliver these courses and this content at a much subsidized rate because we already have this ready with us.
Through your freelancers?
Through our freelancers, yes. And basis of that, this company has been able to scale and grow at much faster rate. They're able to cater to 10x more requirements than they could previously, and that's essentially because we have enabled them to be able to work with a much bigger virtual workforce at a very nominal kind of commercial model.
So as a growth marketer, you are a growth marketer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you also work within marketing.
Yes. So we've been lucky enough. We didn't really have to go out and do a lot of marketing ourselves. We were lucky enough to be ranked by LinkedIn as the third best startup to work in India.
Oh,
so
really?
that has
fantastic,
so
man.
that has been able to get us a lot of marketing. But let me ask you a question. Are you a freelancer yourself?
No, I'm not a freelancer, but I've been dabbling with it a little bit.
Right.
But not all that much. I quit my job a few months ago.
All right.
And I'm actually working, trying to build my skills as a digital creator. That's what I'm working on.
Right.
So I'm about to launch a podcast. I don't have a job, and I'm about to launch a podcast called Salman Needs a Job.
Oh,
so, and I
beautiful.
speak to people about jobs and things like that.
Let TapChief find Salman a job. Why don't you go home and set up a profile on TapChief?
Let me do that.
Shoot me a message. With
I'm
your
a digital
profile link.
marketer. I do a lot of.
Absolutely. So that's why I'm here. We are meeting a lot of our clients here as well and trying to understand what are the new ways that we can possibly enable them to scale their marketing efforts. And also trying to meet smart people like yourself so that we can kind of onboard them.
I'm very smart.
As a supplier. Yeah. That's
Awesome.
much about it.
Here's a letter for you.
All right. Beautiful.
All right. Thank you.
Fantastic. Nice bumping into you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Guys.